King Charles and Queen Camilla were handed Australia's first Bible, signed by every member of the royal family from previous royal tours, after a church service in Sydney. King Charles and Queen Camilla were faced with an awkward moment when signing a church visitor's book during the first full day of events on their royal visit to Australia. Charles and Camilla were handed Australia's first Bible, signed by every member of the royal family from previous royal tours, after a church service in Sydney that marked the first full day of events on their royal visit to Australia. Using his own fountain pen, the king signed the Bible before, possibly due to the effects of jet lag, having landed in Sydney on Friday, turned to ask, "What day is it again?" The historic book belonged to Rev. Richard Johnson, the first Christian minister in Australia. The late Queen Elizabeth signed it in 1954 during the first visit of a reigning monarch to these shores. Handing it to Charles, the Archbishop said the Bible represents a significant history of this church and nation. At the top of the prayer book page Charles signed this weekend was the late Princess of Wales's signatures from their 1983 visit. The tour marked a turning point in their ill-fated relationship, with Charles understood to have been frustrated over the public's incredible reaction for Diana. After an hour-long service at St. Thomas's Church in northern Sydney, the royals made their way outside to loud cheers from the hundreds gathered on the lawn opposite the church. A small group of anti-monarchy protesters also gathered outside under a large "Decolonize" banner, but were drowned out by the well-wishers. Charles said to one person, "It's a beautiful day," as several people shouted, "We love you." One person said to the Queen, "Hello. I hope your jet lag is getting better," before the pair spoke about the perils of long-haul travel. "We have it the same when we come to the UK," Helen Hetralazes told Camilla. Charles, 75, and Camilla, 77, spoke to primary school-aged children from the Thomas's Sunday school group who were brimming with enthusiasm to meet their majesties. They had patiently waited for over an hour, and when officials started arriving, one boy excitedly shouted, "Are they here?" Arriving before their majesties, Governor-General Sam Mostyn stopped to speak to the youngsters and said, "What an exciting day for you. I hope you love meeting him. It's a rare treat." The youngsters nervously waved their Australian flags as the King and Queen arrived, but the royal couple quickly put them at ease as they chatted to them. Camilla, wearing a pale green Anna Valentine dress and straw hat, was gifted a posy before they were received by the Archbishop of Sydney, the Most Reverend Kanishka Raffle, and the Bishop of North Sydney, Right Reverend Chris Edwards. Inside, the Archbishop welcomed the congregation and highlighted St. Thomas's royal history before the Reverend Michael Mantle, rector of the parish of North Sydney. Starting by welcoming the royal guests, he said, "It is an enormous honor for us to welcome you to our church this morning." The theme of the service was the good news about Jesus and featured hymns "Rejoice, the Lord is King," "Tell Out, My Soul," and "Love Divine," all loves excelling. Throughout the service, a lone flute could be heard from outside playing "God Save the King." Speaking afterwards, professional flutist Mina Kim said she only learnt the piece this morning while standing on the lawn outside St. Thomas's. "We got it up on our phones and she learned it and started practicing," said Anna Usher, who stood next to her.